The wage gap is a myth. If men and women have similar education, similar job, they make similar salary. The difference is men tend to choose jobs that women don't. Men do dangerous jobs or jobs that women won't. Women tend to go for office jobs. Show me a female work crew on a deep sea oil rig.
There are some.
I said a female work crew.
Oh.
It was too intolerable. She had to say it's not all. And that knee-jerk response is why so many of you guys get stuck. 51% of the population of women. Are 51% of all dangerous jobs filled by women?
No.
Then due respect, your some don't really matter. When I'm talking to women, you guys tend to throw it in, well, there's some. And it's just like a deflection. Put this Wonder Woman girl power. Women choose different jobs.
One thing that I do think is very true is I do think that women choose very different jobs. I don't think there's nothing wrong with women choosing different jobs. And I think that one of the things that I did this study before, and I was like, okay, as far as like the most dangerous jobs in the world, it's less than 3% women. Like deep sea fishermen, fishermen, crab fishermen.
My stepfather is one, and he says like everyone, at least one or two people go overboard every season.
Yeah.
That's a dangerous job. I've seen the videos.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with like, hey, but you know why? Like oil rig workers, you know why? And I'm going to tell you this, because men, for working hard, we get a dopamine rush from our testosterone. So for doing crazy, stupid shit that's hard and dangerous, we're getting a double dopamine rush. We're getting the thrill of doing something that's dangerous, and then we're getting a dopamine rush from it being hard, because testosterone is very similar to dopamine. And so since we have more testosterone,
it's a precursor.
Yeah. So since we have more testosterone in our body, right, when we do something that's super stupid, like working on a oil rig that my cousin did this in Louisiana in the coast for years before. If you're watching, shout out Kev, you know I love you. That he did this in Louisiana for years, and then because he's a machinist, right? Mm-hmm. So he was working on an oil rig, and I'd be like, "What are you doing out there?" And he'd be like, "Man, it's fun. I'm out there, this, not that, and this, and that." And he's like, "Yeah, my boy right there, this, not that." And he would always talk about this guy, and this guy passed away. And he would talk about people who passed away, and they died and working. And so, do you really want to do that job?
No.
That job starts at $154,000 a year. It's a high-paying job. Another job is, and these are jobs that are personality types and not gender types.
Real quick, the crab fisherman, and this was like over 10, 15 years ago. Yeah. It was 3 month work was over $100,000. Yeah. Easy. Mm-hmm. So that's all.
3 months of crazy work is $100,000.
Season. It's a crab season.
Season.
Yeah, I think I saw that show. Like I used to watch it. It's crazy.
Last thing I'll talk about with this, which was a very good set. That's a great clip, Scott. I wasn't prepared for it, but is CEOs. Everybody wants a CEO, right? Mm-hmm. And I always hear it should be more women CEOs.
There's a lot of CEO in the bios.
Yeah, so there should be more women CEOs, and you can agree or disagree with that.
I think that should be a red flag indicator in a dating profile.
Yeah.
Yeah, but CEO of this, it's like, wait, CEO what? I'm sorry.
CEO. I'd be petty as hell. CEO of weaves and lashes.
Oh,
be hella petty, dude. I'd be hella petty. I'd be petty.
That's so.
Spotlight. He just went it, but okay, here we go.
Uncle Guns has a comment right here, and then I'll get back to talking about CEO. When I worked with EOD, we didn't see too many females. We didn't see too many females. Ordinance, yes, but the actual live stuff, not so much. But CEOs are a personality type, and it's not a gender. Because if I tell you what an average, because I worked directly for a CEO at my job, and he would call me 4 or 5 times.
I don't know what EOD is.
4 or 5 in the morning, and I would answer him back. He's like, "Why are you answering me back?" I'm like, "You're the CEO. You're calling me. I'm going to answer you." And he'd be like, No, you don't have to call me for that, right?
EOD is explosive ordnance disposal.
Explosive ordnance disposal. The Guns tell us that.
Self-made.
Thank you, sir. Kings of Dreams,
okay.
self-made.
Kings of Dreams.
So check it out. It's personality type. So what if I told you this? Okay, you're going to be a CEO, but you're going to work 6 days a week, 17 hours a day. You're going to sleep sometimes at the office. and you're in charge of everything, and everything that goes wrong is your fault. But if it goes right, you get to keep your job. By the way, you don't get to see your family. You don't get to raise your kids. Your kids usually grow up hating you. They usually grow up thinking that you're a piece of because you're not there. No, it's the truth. It's the truth. I know these people. Your kids grow up hating you. Your kids usually they get in some type of trouble, and that stops you from working. And then when you see people retire and they say, I want to spend time with my family, it's because their son got in trouble or somebody got in trouble and they need to spend time and straighten them out and try to make it up. So they take them to Europe or something like that and put them in a boarding school or something like that, and they spend time with them. Is that a job that you would want?
I don't.
No.
Personally.
How about you? You know, less than 0.5% of the world's population would do that job. It takes a person who's driven. You have to have ADD, but the ability to focus on a dot. So you have to be all over the place because you have to deal with this, and this, but focusing on this and fix this, then zoom back out. It's just people can't do it.
I just think that whoever does it should know that that's what they really want to do and not have a family.
Yeah. Well, here's the
That's
thing.
pretty much what they will live for. That will be their life.
I mean, they can't even have like a stable relationship.
No, they do have a stable relationship. They have a wife who's usually cheating on them.
So what's the point?
Yeah.
Because that's the sacrifice that person's making to do what he wants to do, to do what he wants to do. And maybe to financially secure his children, his children's children, his children's children's children. Because everybody doesn't get to be Michael Jordan. Sometimes you have to build something up, be a 1%er, invest right, and then when you die, you get to pass it on. My grandfather invested his money and had acreage and property to pass on to me and my cousins.
So you guys can be more comfortable.
Yes. He ultimately sacrificed. He used to tell me stories that he used to take the train where he used to have to ride in the back of the train to Long Beach to go work in conditions during the war and get treated horribly. But then what they did, him and his cousins, they brought three houses in the Long Beach area. And when the property went up, they sold the houses and brought property back in Texas.
So, okay, like I get it.
It's a sacrifice.
It is a sacrifice, but is it worth it? So is it worth that sacrifice from our ancestors per se to actually have sacrificed all that so we can have that kind of population that we have now?
Yeah.
You think?
Yes.
The way that society is
the
going?
way the society's the way it is now. Because there's not enough families together correcting people. And also, honestly...
And I have to agree with him. And I come from a more liberal mind frame, too.
But society's the way it is because of the lack of real families.
Yeah, the nuclear family is disintegrating.
If I would literally... And I'm very particular to the Black community because I'm Black.
Obviously.
Are you?
Yeah,
Are you?
I'm Black, even though my wife's Mexican, but I'm particular to Black people, right? I would sacrifice almost everything I could think of if I can just see Black families stay together, because I know I mentor so many young men who need men in their life. It's crazy. I mentor so many young men who just need to look at a man and just say, holy shit, this person can do something.
So what do you think is the reason why families are not sticking together nowadays?
Because people break up for like, I think the only reason, if you have a child, the only reason you should leave somebody is because you're getting beat. I mean, I think
abuse.
Abuse.
Mental.
Abuse. I think that if you're getting abuse, you should leave somebody. I think that I think that everyone's a damn fool if they think that their mom and their dad didn't step out and have a relationship. I think that if you just look at it logically, that a dude cheating, right? I'm not saying that he should be able to come back and just snuggle up in the bed like, hey, baby, I cheated. No, get your ass on the couch or get your ass in a different room.
It was Allende. You try to be...
Stop, because Allende is a polygamist. But,
go ahead.
But he's a good friend of ours, but he's polygamist. But no, that's why you had so many parents with separate beds. You see grandparents, it was very common that they had separate beds. You know, they didn't sleep in the same bed. And maybe separate rooms. But
I thought they did that because they snore.
No, they kept Shouldn't be snoring.
Well, I wanna be
You in the same. You in the same room.
Mhm.
You in the same room and you snoring. No, because mom was like, listen, or dad was like, listen, it's not like that anymore, but we're going to stay in this house. We're going to solve the problems in the house. We're going to stay together so our kids won't be pieces of shit. And now we have a lot of dudes. How many dudes have you come across?
Fun fact: I'm a love child.
Yeah.
All right. So from what Grover is describing, I actually do understand, like, because I've experienced it. So anyway, go ahead.
So like there's too many
Broken
dudes
homes.
who have feminine traits, who react just like women when something happens. And when I say just like women, I'm talking about overly emotional. We're not supposed to be overly emotional and flip the out. Like,
Why are you laughing?
because I'm telling the truth. As a man, you're not supposed to flip the absolute out when something happens. You're supposed to sit here and say, okay, let me
So
calm myself down.
I laugh because it's funny, but what do you think when the woman is the one that keeps the composure and like she's the one like, okay, like things are going into disaster, but she's like the one that, okay, calm down and we fix this.
Okay, so
So what do you think about that? Is that a manly?
I think
Is that a manly characteristic on a woman?
I think that it's masculine in a lot of ways. I think it's masculine in a lot of ways. I think that it's very good to have a partner who's not going to flip out on you, and I think it's very good to have somebody who's formidable for you, whether it's a man or woman. So I'm not saying that a woman doesn't have the ability not to flip out when something happens. I'm saying that that's a trait that you have dudes who, when I say flip out, I think you're missing my point. You have dudes who get in an argument with a dude and they shoot the guy
Mhm.
because they can't take somebody stepping on their fucking Jordans.
You put all swear words in a span of 10 seconds.
Oh shit!
Keep for that.
Oh,
Hey,
sorry.
another
You know how long it takes you to edit those stupid swear words out?
But I'm telling you, you have people who shoot each other over Jordans.
Mhm.
You have a dude who I've seen dudes get into it over each other because a guy got on a female that the other guy liked, and this guy didn't even know he liked the female, and dude bopped him in the back of the head with a bat because he was shining too much. These are traits. These are things that if you had a man when you were a kid, and these are all the dudes who didn't have their father in their life, put you aside and say, hey, son, check this out. You're going to get shot down. You're going to get hurt. You're going to lose. There's no fifth place trophies, and you got to chin up and keep going. And that's something that a lot of dudes need. So that's why when kids come to me for martial arts and they say dumb like, I'm gonna space out. I'm not gonna run today. I say, cool. You're not gonna run. You're gonna hold a push-up position for an hour a day, or you can run 5 laps. And then I look at him and say, I'm not your friend. I'm your coach, and I don't care about your feelings. Run your ass. And you know what they do? They run. And now the kids who I dealt with that when they were 9 years old, at 15 years old, they respect me and they have more respect for themselves because I looked at them and said, just so you know, you're full of shit and I'm not going for it. And
There's
you need
another one.
Wait, what?
That they.
She was counting the swear words.
I really did my best to space it out. You should see, but at least I waited till the middle.
Yeah,
I didn't do it up front. Okay.
And so that's where a man is actually really good in those roles because a man will have more authority and be able to discipline kids. Like just from what I've seen, and maybe you guys disagree or agree, is that men can bring the discipline a lot harder than women can. There's more structure,
true.
more rules, more.
Well, all I know that we respected grandma.
Yeah, I go like.
Also, I think again it goes back to like your roots, your
upbringing.
Yeah,
your upbringing.
Because
Because we will see
Latinas.
chanclas flying and you do not talk back. And you know what I mean? Like it depends on the background, I think.
I never had the opportunity to even think about disrespecting my grandma. Because my grandma, she would get the switch, but my grandfather always got the thickest damn switch he could find. And my grandma got the little cutter switch. I didn't know which one was worse, but my grandfather would break a tree off on your butt if you get out of line.
I think that's why it's lost nowadays. It's not about physical violence. It's more about the respect to have from our ancestors or the adults now. I think that is getting lost, but at the same time, it's because like supposedly we're evolving, but this evolution tends to like going backwards now, like
Yeah. We're devolving.
evolving. It's like I guess
Yeah,
too much technology is doing the thinking now.
I need to get my charger behind the green.
Pretty much.
Well, what I was gonna say is like basically, Twitter shows that we are definitely devolving.
Yes.
Like we are still attuned to our animal instincts and how we act like 10,000 years ago. So there's certain things that we try to embody the ideals that we have evolved further. But from what I've seen from the social media, and I'm sure the audience can agree, we're still pretty much pretty primitive in certain ways. In many ways.
I think no, we're primitive and we devolve, but we are allowed to get away with more than we should be allowed to get away with.
Well, because back then there was more danger.
Yeah, so
More things that could take you out.
So now we have
Now
stuff.
they have
Click on the top video if you want to see the full live stream, or click on the bottom video for our other videos. Can you handle the tip?
Leave your comments and like and subscribe on YouTube. Booty in your face.
We found true happiness.